William Morrow and Harper Audio present 9 Black Robes, Inside the Supreme Court's Drive to the Right and Its Historic Consequences, by Joan Biskupic, read by Kirsten Potter. For Clay and Elizabeth. No one should be confident that this majority is done with its work. Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, Dissenting Justices, June 24, 2022. Author's Note. This book is a group portrait of the Supreme Court during a historic period in American law, influenced by the presidency of Donald Trump and its aftermath. The court overturned nearly a half-century of abortion rights, obliterated protections of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, VRA, curtailed government regulatory power, and blurred the separation of church and state. The transformed court was decades in the making, but its character was solidified by the 3 appointees of former President Trump. From his campaign of 2016 into the early years of the Joe Biden administration, tensions within the court spiraled. The justices maneuvered uneasily around each other. 2 deaths marked this period, Antonin Scalia's in 2016 and Ruth Bader Ginsburg's in 2020, as did the COVID-19 pandemic. I have relied on the records of cases, archives, and more than 100 interviews with people on the court and in its orbit, including a majority of the justices. This book also builds on my daily journalistic coverage of the court and my 4 previous works on individual justices, including a biography of Scalia, the model for the Trump justices, and a biography of Chief Justice John Roberts, who recalibrated his leadership and his approach to the law with each addition to the bench. 7 men and 5 women served in the years covered in this book. Roberts, appointed by George W. Bush in 2005, Anthony Kennedy, put on the bench by Ronald Reagan in 1988, Clarence Thomas by George H.W. Bush in 1991, Ruth Bader Ginsburg by Bill Clinton in 1993, Stephen Breyer by Clinton in 1994, Samuel Alito by George W. Bush in 2006, Sonia Sotomayor by Barack Obama in 2009, Elena Kagan by Obama in 2010, the 3 Trump appointees, Neil Gorsuch, 2017, Brett Kavanaugh, 2018, Amy Coney Barrett, 2020, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, selected by Biden in 2022 as the first Black woman justice, a groundbreaking appointment to a court that has been, paradoxically, going backward. Prologue. Unmasked. The lectern where the lawyers stood to argue their cases had been pushed back 20 feet from the Supreme Court's elevated bench. Dozens of wooden chairs that normally filled the front section of the courtroom were gone. The tableau on this November 1st, 2021 morning was spare, as the coronavirus pandemic still raged and extra health precautions were in place. For the few spectators permitted to attend the suspenseful Texas abortion arguments, all wearing high-grade, tight-fitting masks and sitting well-spaced on the red upholstered seats, the view of the 9 justices was direct and unobstructed. The court had scheduled the morning hearing after letting a Texas abortion ban take effect in a midnight order on September 1st. For 2 months, women in America's second most populous state had been living without the right to abortion. The Supreme Court had guaranteed that right in its 1973 Roe v. Wade milestone and reaffirmed it many times, most definitively in 1992's Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania v. Casey. The Texas legislature had flouted those precedents and the Constitution and prohibited abortion after the first sign of fetal cardiac activity, roughly 6 weeks, a point when many women do not yet know they are pregnant, and a point, too, at which fetal heart valves have not developed, making heartbeat law a misnomer. So,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?